How was that?
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking, to be honest. Take our first 8 minutes and then lost Brad. Yeah, first 8 minutes, and then I thought, gee, it was frustrating. So a couple of points. I thought we showed really good character to dig out in the last quarter. Kicked 5 goals odd, which you'd like to do most quarters, but we didn't. A few people stood up. Owens into ruck, Marshall forward to help our young forward line. Cooper Sharman went to McKay, did a good job. Sinclair again into the midfield, which is our magic wand piece, which everyone knows. But we tried to move him there permanently, but we lost a bit out of the back half. So young Windhager stood up late. But I thought it was more, that quarter resembled basically how we were playing in the first 7 weeks of the year, to be honest. So with intensity and easy ball movement and deep entries and dangerous smalls and all of those sort of things. So the two other points for mine are Brad Hill. Early he was setting us alight in that high forward role. Had a really big hit on the far wing. I thought it was really courageous. Like, he's a light runner. I prefer him to jump out of the way rather than lose him, but he stayed on line and Core really nailed him, which is all fair and square. But I hope our members, everyone involved in the club, saw what he stood up for tonight, and he's been pretty special for me since I've been through the door. So I know there's been criticism wrapped around Brad. All I know is at St Kilda, all I know is he's a 3-time premiership player, stood up on the biggest games and runs himself to death, and has stayed online, has been fantastic. So really like to recognise that, and hope his critics sort of acknowledge that as well. The third point is, and I'm pretty sure if it was Essendon Bulldogs Friday night, they wouldn't have left the rain open all night, all morning. And this ground's like a car park, hard best of times, and it was just like, you could see anyone that watched that game, the ability to pick it up, it was like a cake of soap for both teams. So really disappointed. We rang the ground manager pre-game. They didn't know why the roof had been late. Seats were wet for fans. I think our broadcasters have a right to be disappointed. I think if it was the MCG, it's okay, because the ground's got given it, and it's not like an ice skating rink. So whoever is responsible for that, well, hopefully they get their processes right, because AFL clubs are so process-driven. So they're my little bits anyway.
Just before we move on to the game stuff, you mentioned Hill. Like, can you give us an update on?
Well, I just did. He's gone to hospital.
Is there anything more though with his scans?
No, I've got no update yet. They'll scan him. Sam, his wife, went with him, so we'll reach out to him tonight. Haven't heard anything. Yeah, so it's pretty significant if you go to hospital. So I don't know, it'll be ribs or lungs or something.
Okay, so it's not clear exactly sort of what the issue is until.
No, I'll tell you if it was clear.
Oh, just asking the question, Ross.
Yeah, but I've answered it 3 times. I've got no update. Yeah, he's gone to hospital, gone with his wife. Yeah, I've got no update.
Will you seek further clarification from the league or the stadium about what?
No, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Guess what? I thought we got treated with contempt, both clubs.
And I guess it was a sort of a game against, outside looking with View North as a lesser team. I know maybe coach might see it a bit differently, but it was similar.
Didn't feel like that.
Yeah, I know, but was I guess disappointed there was such an arm wrestle against the team that lost the last 15 beforehand.
Sorry?
It was a bit disappointing. It was such an arm wrestle for most of the match against the team that lost.
Yeah, look, we're not in great form. We're trying to rediscover it. We're a really young forward line. We would have had Hayes and Cordy in, but Hayes had a little, fascia issue in his hammy, and Cordy, who just gives us some experience down there, missed his concussion protocol by a day, right? So we know we're young, and it's just very difficult at the minute, and would love. I watched Tim Membry play 2 games for the year, one of our power forwards, and Max King, who's our young star forward. But Caminiti and Philippou and those guys, Mitch Owens, like, they're babies, right? So it's exciting for us going forward, but it's been really challenging at sometimes in Philippou. They're only babies. So look, I thought their midfield was pretty good. Howe gave them a bit of a list, but LDU's pretty special. Rowan almost didn't play. He had a fitness test before the game, so we thought Tom Campbell was going to play, so he played under real duress. So look, but at the end of the day, it doesn't count. You've got to get it done. So yeah, and you lose Brad Hill, like, it all goes south, right? And then, we kicked really inaccurately, and they were 8-1 off turnover. Like.
Did you see signs of life in that last quarter? Just
In the
given-
last quarter, yeah. In the first 8 minutes, I thought you couldn't have started any better, everything we wanted to do. So there's just wild swings in our ball movement from 70% play on to lateral and slow. So I know we're going to find a happy medium.
You mentioned all fair and square with the bump of core on Hill.
Yeah.
Just given the current climate, what would you like to see happen with the match review? That'll be looked at.
Yeah, no, I've got no. It's certainly cool. Like, good luck to him. Go hard. I like it, right? So I was just really acknowledging one of our elite runners stayed online. Yeah, I think it looked pretty legal to me. Yeah, there's no putting anyone in. No, I'm just acknowledging that he was really brave and he got hit hard. Yeah. No match review here. Yeah, I'm the old school. But to be honest, even if it was across the line, which it isn't, I'm only talking about it because Brad's courage and it was a challenge replacing him. So, still haven't got an update, really.
Was it? I guess there was periods of the game where I think did you find that you maybe were overusing the ball a bit and inviting pressure on yourselves and that sort of?
100%, yeah. And it was 68% play on. So we started kick, pulling them apart, and then went to one-to-one handball and ran into a lot of trouble. Yeah, I think that was evident. I could number them off, but I won't do that. So somehow we've got to find that magic formula, the Goldilocks, right? But it's holding us back. We know that as a group. So.
I know you said last week, Ross, that finals, forget it. We don't want to talk about it. We're not playing well enough, that sort of thing. But is there a point where you try to use it as a bit of a carrot motivation for the guys? The next.
Can I just clarify though? So, and it's not even selective editing because I do mumble a bit and I talk with a bit of a drawl. But I said the way we're playing, I hear the narrative, but we won't even challenge North Melbourne next week. And I suppose I didn't want to disrespect, but they're a rebuilding young team. But I said we can earn the right. So early in the year we'd earned the right, but I said we can get back and earn the right. So I didn't dismiss it. I just said the way we play we won't, but we can earn the right if we turn it around. So I don't know. Funnily enough, I don't know what are we? What would we be now? We're still
six.
Yeah. So I don't know. All our trials and tribulations and personnel challenges, and I thought we were really brave when you need to be. I know there's teams making a run now, but. I thought we were brave. David Parkin taught me that your teams from round one and Andrew Ireland, when the season's up for grabs, dig in and have a go, and I thought we did that. So that's why we sit where we sit now.
I guess
you talk about personnel.
Yeah.
Do you have any sort of handle yet on what might happen for next week in terms?
Yeah, it doesn't look good for Brad, but
yeah,
because if you go to hospital, I imagine that's significant. Max is still a few weeks away. Hayes and Cordy for height maybe, and our Sandringham team played today, so I'll get an assessment on that. Not too much, but Billings made a return. I suppose Ryan Burns, went out of the team and Stockton went out of the team, so it's challenging.
You mentioned
last one. I'm mumbling.
you mentioned
dithering, really. I want to say something stupid.
You mentioned the goal kicking earlier. I guess a really good example, was that Caminiti has that shot early, which went way off, but then almost redeems himself late in the game with that huge kick from 50 metres out at a really crucial time. Is that sort of like almost a good sign for a player to sort of make up for it, I guess?
Yeah, it is. It's mentally strong for a young kid, isn't it? So it's very hard. It's very easy to get inside yourself and withdraw, and the brain's designed to protect us, right? So trying not to have the ball in your hands, but he did and he took it on. So, gee whiz, 196, deemed not draftable, big key forward. He's pretty exciting next 8 years for us. Thank you.
Ross, how did you see the delivery?
Where did you come from?
Ball delivery in the forward 50. I know you've got to analyse today's game. Next week you get the Hawks.
Yeah, they're an electric form.
Sicily intercepting the ball.
I think he had a world record against us last time. So.
How did you see the delivery tonight? And do you need to change things up next week? Because he's pretty.
Yeah, I think the left hand and the right hand don't really know what each other's doing consistently. Look, we focused on deep entries late because we acknowledged we were going shallow, and it was a dry day. It was a wet day out there. So when we went deeper, which most teams do under pressure, I thought when we were under pressure, we went shallow, and then when we had time and space, where we could have been deeper to one-on-ones, we didn't. But we fixed that in the last quarter, like, in the nick of time. Because Rowan takes a mark, doesn't he? Cooper Sharma takes a mark. Yeah, look, we're talking about it, we're working on it. It's our job to fix it, we're not there. So we've been the 18th most efficient team all year. Is that personnel, is that method? I think it's a combination of both. But you're right, it's a big bucket issue. Thank you.